Welcome to Bleav In 76ers with your hosts, former 76ers point guard Eric Snow and two Sixers fanatics in Marcus and Teja Dash. Bleav In 76ers is presented by BetOnline.AG.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use promo code BLEAV for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Bleav In 76ers podcast. I'm Marcus Dash here with legendary 76ers point guard Eric Snow and my brother Teja Dash. Guys, so the trade deadline came and went. Kind of a mixed bag of emotions yesterday. It started off really hot. We got Buddy Hield in the morning. And then little by little throughout the day, people's expectations, kind of went out the window and it all hit the fan when Pat Bev got traded. I never thought Pat Bev was going to be that big of a fan favorite where that he, got traded. I mean, people were that pissed off about it. What were your guys' thoughts on how the trade deadline went? I know we'll get into it a little bit more, but what were your just kind of initial reaction to the trade deadline yesterday?
I wasn't surprised that we made trades. I wasn't surprised that we traded the players we traded. But I don't know. I guess we can talk about it. It's just so many. I don't know. I might have more questions now than I did before.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. I'm not surprised at who went. I mean, Ferk's been asking for out for like 4 years. We knew Morris he had the biggest price tag of all the newcomers, so that automatically for salary cap matching purposes he was probably going to be the odd man out. But yeah, I'm not too surprised. We'll get into more in a second, I guess. But
yeah, and it kind of what Eric said. The kind of have more questions now. I mean, yeah, because it seemed like we were buyers, and then midway after the Buddy Hield trade, we became sellers. It seemed like so. Yeah, just very odd day. But yeah, we'll get into it right now. So obviously we had a lot more outgoing than we had incoming. So in total, we sent out Daniel House, Marcus Morris, Patrick Beverly, Jaden Springer, Furkan Korkmaz, 4 second-round picks, and we received Campaign, Buddy Hield, and 2 second-round picks back. So guys, what were your kind of grades on the trade deadline deals yesterday? What surprised you the most about what we saw yesterday?
From our perspective or just the league perspective?
Your perspective, and then I guess you can go to totality perspective.
Yeah. From our perspective, for the amount of players, not necessarily who, but the amount of players that we put out, I did expect us to have more players coming, and more from a standpoint of some more versatility in different styles and different sizes of players. I thought we would get a big and a wing and a pointer. Like I thought we would be a little more versatile with what we sent out. And we didn't necessarily address something that we lost with Pat. Like we didn't address that. I coach Cam, and Cam is not that type of player. He's a good player. He can play, but he's probably the opposite of Pat Bev as far as playing style. So, and Buddy Hield, you didn't address that. So that's where my questions come in. Like I like the guys that we picked up. I just think that we opened up more holes with the guys that left, and maybe we'll address them in the buyout market. Maybe we don't know. We never know how the buyout market goes. There's no guarantees with that. So I just think that like I said, we got two guys that I know and feel can help, but we didn't address some holes that we have right now. And I think going forward, we need to find a way to address.
What about league wide surprise?
What the Knicks did, I was surprised they did that. Didn't have to give up any first round picks.
Yeah,
that was impressive, especially with them having two starters and their two primary starters out, and to be able to address that and kind of band-aid that for a little bit is huge.
How do you feel? I heard that we turned down a deal they wanted Tobias for Bogdanovich and Burks.
Are they both free agents at the end of this year?
Bogdanovich is not, but he's only guaranteed $2 million next year. So if we wanted to be good, I guess.
I think that tells me something else is coming, or is some uncertainty about Joel. Because I firmly believe if Joel's not going to come and be Joel, there's really no need to make any
crazy moves.
Yeah, there's really no need to do it. Just stick with what you got, make some minor adjustments, and roll with it. Try to pull a Miami or something. You never know. But that it tells me that you don't necessarily want to go change the chemistry. Like, is Burks and Bogdanovich better than Tobias and Hield?
No.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what are the
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Then why? Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that when you look at it from that perspective, you get the same thing, if not better.
Do you think it speaks to how much maybe because I mean, a lot of these moves are this year and beyond, right? A lot of people think this year, but it's way more than that, I think. Do you think some of this tips their hand a little bit about how much interest they have in like retaining Tobias after the season?
I mean, I think that they would do it if the price is right. I mean, I firmly believe that. But I do think it's more of, if Joel's going to be out, swapping Tobias for Bogdanovich, does that help us right now?
Yeah.
Do we need more of a continuity, more so than the guy that's almost, pretty much most people can say not better or not as bad, not much better than Tobias.
Yeah.
He may be a better fit alongside Joel, but if this is for 3 or 4 months, like this, I don't think the move necessarily helps enough for you to say, let's scrap the momentum we built somehow, in the continuity, the chemistry we built, and scrap it for those two guys.
Yeah.
I think you just maybe add one and keep Tobias and somehow keep the locker room the same.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. So I think our biggest needs were coming into this, backup point guard / ball handler, 3-point shooting, wing depth, and good insurance policy backup big. I guess we can check 2 of those off for now. I mean, Campaign is a good backup point guard. I think we are going to miss Bev, but I think Payne is a good backup point guard. And we definitely checked the 3-point shooting one. So there's no question about that. That was one of our biggest weaknesses going into at this point of the season. and we got one of the best 3-point shooters in the league. I would grade us lower because, especially recently, I think our biggest box to check was reliable backup big. And we sent out a lot towards the end. I think it's because Chicago kept saying no to deals for Drummond, and we got another pick. We're like, all right, how about one more second rounder? And it was like, nope. All the way up to the deadline. Because they said they were close to doing it. They had a framework, and then Chicago just pulled out at the last minute. That's also one of the more baffling things to me too, is like, what is Chicago doing? But they want to keep all their guys intact, and they want to, what was that quote about DeRozan? He's here long term.
They want to make it a long term thing with him.
I mean, I don't know, man. Chicago's got, I don't know what's going on over there. That was pretty surprising to me, how they just didn't do anything, and guys that they're probably going to lose for nothing in the offseason. They could have got something for. Yeah, I mean, 2-3 second rounders. It's something. It's better than nothing. But yeah, at one point I thought, does this beg the question of, are we optimistic? Is the management more optimistic than we are about Joel's health? But then you heard the story that Chicago couldn't find another big to go Chicago's way, and even like a 3-team deal. So I guess no one's trading bigs. Bigs is a hard thing to find now. Who would have thought? But that would be my biggest surprise, that, what Chicago did, and that we couldn't get a legit backup big, or else I would have given us a much higher grade. I'd like to give us an incomplete grade, really, because we still have open roster spots that we haven't done anything with, that we're going to do something with. So,
yeah, no, we'll address that with the buyouts. Eric, this is one thing that I kind of had an issue with, and a lot of different fans online had an issue with, was the fact that we traded Pat Bev and Jaden Springer, regardless of how we see them, right? How our management sees them. We traded them to the competitors in the East, Boston and Milwaukee. Of all teams that we could have traded with, we traded with those two teams. I mean, do you have a kind of an issue with that?
Yeah, I did have an issue with that, because I felt if they were making those moves, they weren't making those moves as a favor for the Sixers. They were making those moves because they felt it would help them be better. And that was, that's a little concerning, that you felt they're making moves that they feel are making them better, and you're helping them do that.
Mm-hmm.
We could think that Cam helps us be better over Pat also. So that one is somewhat, could be a wash from team perspectives. But the Boston one, I don't understand at all. I really don't. I mean, you have a guy that they could arguably put on Maxey when we play him.
Yeah.
I know. It's a little scary. I think we had tunnel vision about getting as many seconds back as we could. And we just whatever we get. Oh, you're going to give us – you want Pat Bev that bad? Give us Payne in a second. I'll do it. Okay, good. I got 1 second back. They did it with Boston. Oh, I got another second back. It's like – and in the end, we couldn't even do anything with them. Like, yeah.
I just think they wanted to move on from Springer. I think that's why they started playing them more. What wasn't in the future plans. I personally think that was more the reason for him. It's just where you sent him. It's the issue. Not the fact
I know.
That you moved.
Yeah. Well, now we got all of our salary cleared except for pretty much Maxey's cap hold and Embiid.
Yeah.
And Paul Reed's non-guarantee. And if Embiid doesn't come back this year, there's probably a chance we don't get past the first round of the playoffs. And then Paul Reed's not.
Way to be confident there.
No, I'm saying that there's that as well, that non-guarantee of not winning that first round. So now let's go to the buyouts. So that's where Teja talks about the incomplete aspect of things. So as we enter the buyout market, we have 3 spots to fill with so many outgoing guys yesterday, but some of the options are out there. I mean, a lot of people are talking about how this might be one of the kind of the most expansive and probably the most attractive buyout market we've seen in some time. So the options that are out there right now Danilo Gallinari, Spencer Dinwiddie, Kyle Lowry, who's expected to be a buyout in the next 24 to 48 hours. I just read Joe Harris. And you have centers who've already been out there, Bismack Biyombo and Nerlens Noel. And there's also the option of signing Terquavion Smith to a multi-year deal. But as far as this team goes, they don't like signing anybody past 2 years with the way they want to do this offseason. But who are the kind of guys that you're looking at when we look at the buyout market? Some guys I mentioned, or maybe I have not mentioned, some guys that you think that would be good fits for us based on who we lost yesterday.
That's why I think the buyout market is very interesting. Like, to be honest with you, if Melton's coming back and he's going to be healthy, and we get in campaign, I don't really see the need for Kyle Lowry. Like, I don't see that unless they just want another veteran guard, more seasoned guard. And if that's the case, then why we move the one we had?
Yeah,
I don't understand that. Spencer Dinwiddie, he's not going to come to Philly. I mean, he's that's not going to happen. LA guy, I can see him going to Lakers. I can see him going back to the Mavericks. Trying to find a place where he has success. Sometimes that means a lot to people.
Yeah, it's true.
And he worked well with Luka, so that could be a benefit for them. I don't know. I think you never get enough shooting. So if you have a shooter that comes, you never get enough shooting. But I do think if somehow a big, Drummond becomes available, who knows? You take him. But outside of that, I'm not sure, because I'm not sure the direction that we're going to go now. I really don't know. The moves made, are we going to play small? Like, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
Like, is Melton supposed to play? Like, what's his situation?
He was supposed to come back this week, but he's not playing tonight.
He's not?
Mm-mm.
I have no idea then.
Yeah, we have a like a 7-man rotation tonight. There's like nobody on the roster today.
It's gonna be like a house league lineup around the
how many players are active tonight?
Like,
not
Maxey, Tobias,
Terquavion Smith, Council. I think Kenny Lofton's gonna play
6. Is Rocco back tonight? No, I think he's out too.
He's out too. Batum and Rocco are out. You say
7.
Batum is still out. Batum's out too.
8.
Yep.
Yeah, so 8.
What's his injury?
I don't know. What was his injury?
Is it an ankle? I don't know. I know he's been in and out with that. It's not personal reasons anymore. It's an actual injury.
So we only have 8 active players, and there's only 2 guys coming.
Hamstring.
Oh yeah, that could linger.
Yeah, from what I see, I think it's 8.
Wow.
Yeah. That's what a great. We're on NBA TV.
That's why they called the guy up. I forgot his name. Lefty from this G League.
Oh, Lofton.
He played the other night.
Yeah, Lofton, the big dude.
Yeah, I forgot his name. He came from Memphis.
Yeah, Kenneth Lofton.
Yeah. So he'll probably be active.
Yeah. We're gonna be all hands on deck on this one. Maybe get Mac McClung from Orlando's G League team to come back and play for us for tonight.
Ooh. I mean,
is he active? Yeah. I mean, McClung they activate him so he can be in the dunk contest.
What, the Magic? I think he's still on their G League team. I don't think they've activated him to the active roster yet. They'll probably.
I thought he was announced to the dunk contest, though, wasn't he?
He was, but I don't think they've announced him to the active roster yet.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
As long as it happens before the slam dunk contest night, probably that week. So
And it says Tyrese Maxey's game time decision.
Yeah, he might not play either.
For what?
Illness.
Oh.
At this point, he's out because he doesn't want to play 48 minutes. That's why he's out. Oh man, I don't want to get slaughtered for 48 minutes, Coach.
That number one seat is not
That's right. Now it's cracked up to be, right?
It can be tough at times.
Yep. You want it, you got it, man.
Yep.
I'm gonna say Lowry just because I think everyone's pretty much expecting it at this point. Although, yeah, with campaign, I don't know how much sense that makes, but they're pretty. It sounds like they're pretty sold on that happening. I like the idea of Joe Harris, man. I really do. He's got length. He can hit a shot. Injuries has really taken the toll on him, huh? Because his career was looking up for a little bit, and then all of a sudden, he's just like, man, one injury after another, and he just couldn't stay on the court. I do like Harris, but I just see we have to go Biyombo, right? We have to get a guy who can come in here and be a big and rebound and just like a competent vet big man. I just we're like desperate now. Well, we have to almost at this point. And then my third one, I was going to go with more Joe Harris, but some accounts online have kind of swayed me. I just think we need a little more infusion of young talent on this team. Like we need some guys that are good. I know we don't want any extra salaries, but come on, I could see Turk Smith getting like a 2 or 3 year deal, becoming a full-time player, getting a standard contract with us. He's played well in his limited minutes. We're going to see him a lot tonight. So if he has a good game tonight, we might be rooting for him to get a contract. But it'd be nice for us to get some, new young talent. We lost Springer, so we don't have. It's just Embiid now for the next 3 years. That's it, Maxey. But yeah, other than that, so I'd say Lowry, Biyombo, and Smith. I thought Biyombo was playing pretty well for Memphis.
Yeah.
I know we've thrown the name around before, and I didn't really watch much of his game when he was with the Hornets, but Kai Jones, I know he got dismissed from the team for weird social media behavior and stuff, but he was pretty solid in college, if I remember correctly. Would that be? You talk about infusion of young talent. Would that be someone maybe at this point, a team like us right now who is kind of we don't have many people on the roster? You could take a chance on a guy like that.
Man. It really depends. It really depends on whether you want to go that route and include, and give him a chance right now. During this run with everything else going on.
Yeah.
You want to do that. Some veteran teams will be great for him that wrap their arms around him and kind of help him out and be a good locker room presence for him. I'm not sure with everything that's going on and the changes in a team that your best player's out. We don't know how long he's going to be out. A lot of free agents. I don't know if our team is best for that.
Yeah, that's a great assessment. I totally agree. It's not the right situation, not the right time. Earlier in the year with what we had, yeah, I would. With Morris and Bev still here, I think you have enough veteran leadership either way to bring on a guy like that, take him under their wing. But right now, man, a bunch of strangers in the locker room at this point. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Have you, Eric, were you ever on a team that you can remember where there was that many guys trade on the trade deadline day where there was when you came in, it was a whole kind of different locker room?
I know team I played on, I believe we were in Cleveland. I believe it was my last year playing too because I was injured and shouldn't even have played. And we made this trade. It was like a big trade, made big trades. And it was only and we brought up one or two guys from the, I don't think it was the G League back then. The D League was called. And they brought two guys up and they had to play. And I had to play too. So I think we had 6 or 7 guys, counting them and me or maybe 8. And so I had to play, and I mean, there was no way I should be playing money. And I ended up making the game-winning basket, and it was my last shot in the NBA.
No way.
Wow.
It was my last shot in the NBA. We ended up winning the game.
Was that 07, 08?
Yes.
What year was that?
07, 08. So it was whichever was, I think it was against the Wizards or somebody. It was the last game I played. And whatever, I might have only had 2 points, but whatever it was, my last shot was like part of the game winner, and that was my last shot. And I made it. And then the guys came, and I never played again.
Wow.
I never played another game. I shouldn't have played that game.
They made like 3 trades that day. I'm looking at it right now. It was Donyell Marshall, Ira Newble to the Sonics. They got back Shannon Brown, Drew Gooden, Larry Hughes, Cedric Simmons. And then what was the other one? The Cavaliers, Jules trade, Adrian Gifford. Yeah, and they also got back Wally Serbiak, Delonte West in that deal.
And Ben.
Cavaliers traded also Shannon Brown, Drew Gooden, Larry Hughes, Cedric Simmons to the Bulls. Bulls traded, okay. Then they also got Joe Smith, Ben Wallace in that deal to the Cavs.
Yes.
Man, that was like a complete overhaul.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. And all those guys were gone. Like, and we had a game that day.
Dude, that's crazy. Man.
And then I had to play. And we ended up winning the game. My leg was dragging. I was dragging my leg.
Wow, man.
So what was the day of the trade? What was that date? They have the date?
February 21st.
See how late it was to now, the trade deadline?
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Yeah, you guys played the Bobcats?
Was the Bobcats or the Wizards? It might not have been on the trade deadline when we made that trade.
Oh, yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. That was a transaction log. You said the Wizards? Oh, my bad. I went to the wrong date. Miami Heat. Miami Heat?
No, it wasn't.
That's January 21st. Jeez, man. I'm all over the place here. Wizards, 90-89.
Yeah.
You played the next day,
Yes.
Friday the 22nd. Good memory.
There was the next day?
Yes, when all that stuff happens, you got to remember that date, right?
That's what I'm saying. So we ended up, what was the score?
You guys had 9.
It was a close game, right?
Yeah, it was 90-89.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I said. I made one of the clutch shots, and that was my last shot. My last shot taken last, and I made it.
Yeah, you guys only had eight active players. You played 32 minutes that game. Man.
But look, interesting. Look at the game before and see if I played the previous game.
Previous game.
I don't even think I played the previous game. I don't even think I was dressed.
Nah, I did not play.
Yeah.
And that was
played.
on, yeah. That was the 20th. And then you played on the 22nd.
I don't even think I was active. They came to me and was like, "We need you to play. Can you play?" I was like, "Oh, I'll try."
Yeah, you even had a block. Look at you. You even had a block that game, huh? You still got up there. You got that block.
That's hilarious.
Oh, man. Yeah.
So, yeah, that was probably the 32 minutes where I felt like I was.
You're the second highest plus minus on the team. Plus 3 that game.
I was plus 3?
You're plus 3. You're second highest.
Did I start?
Yeah.
Did I start?
Yeah.
Who started? I don't even remember. Who started?
You did. Let me see. You.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
Damon Jones, Devin Brown, LeBron, and Z.
Wow.
Who was it? Me?
You, Devin Brown, Damon Jones, LeBron, and Z. Ilgauskas.
Okay. Yeah. So we were 3 guys that were, us 5 was already on the roster. And we had somebody else who was on the roster, and then the 2 guys they signed.
Yeah, you had Billy Thomas off the bench, Dwayne Jones, and Kaniel Dickens.
So Dickens and Billy were just signed.
Okay.
And Dwayne Jones was on the roster, but he wasn't playing.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. Three players played almost 44 minutes each on the starters. You played the least on the starters because they were trying to do you a favor by not killing you that game.
Yes.
Still played 32
because
minutes.
I hadn't been playing.
Man.
So I wasn't even really practicing. That's what I'm saying. Like I wasn't even really I was done.
Man.
Still beat the Wizards.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We still beat them.
That's a great win right there. I'll tell you that. Yeah, LeBron 33, 15, and 8. Good game.
Yeah, 45 minutes. He only rested 3 minutes.
What did LeBron have?
33, 15, and 8. 11 of 20. 44 minutes. Yeah, almost 45 minutes. Yeah, it's crazy. That's man.
Who was second? Was Z the second league scorer?
I think Damon Jones was.
Damon Jones had a great game. He had 27.
Damon shot it. Damon shot it well that game. I remember.
Yeah, he did. He was 7 and 11 from 3. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, shot it well. So he was happy he was playing. I remember we were in the locker room. Damon's personality he's hilarious. He was like, I know one thing. I'm gonna play a lot today.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm gonna shoot the ball.
That's great.
That's funny.
Oh,
You're not getting pulled.
Yeah, I know he ain't gonna take me out today. So I'm
let him fly, man.
Oh man.
And look, he played loose and he went 7 of 11.
Yeah, it was fun. That was funny. I remember.
Devin Brown almost had a triple double.
Yeah.
10, 10, and 7.
What I have? 2, 2, and 2.
3, 1 block, 1 assist, and 2 rebounds.
3 points.
Yeah, 3 points.
Yeah. That bucket, that's what I'm saying. That was like a key bucket at the end, was like the only shot. Yeah. I was out there just to give them another guy.
The next game, three new starters in the next game. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Was I even dressed the next game?
No.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I wasn't even playing. I only played that game.
That's crazy.
Wow.
So what you're saying is Max, you should play with an illness, is what you're saying.
No, what I'm saying is I was done. I was going to retire. I was done playing.
Oh, you were done.
Yes, I had my mind made up. I was done. I was just being around the team. And I never played again. That was my last year. I never played anymore.
Wow.
That game was my last game.
Your last shot as a pro was a game winner?
Yes.
That's awesome.
That was my last shot, my last game playing. I played.
That's great.
So it wasn't like the end of it wasn't like a buzzer beater, but I know it was a big shot in the end. And that was my last shot. And we made it and it helped us. Either it gave us a lead or it gave us a 3-point lead or whatever. I don't remember. Had to look at
I'm going to the game log right now. You came back in with 40 seconds left. I bet you were like, man, just don't even put me back in. I mean, oh man. Okay, so it looks like LeBron hit 2 free throws to win it with 7 seconds. Let me do a snow.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. It wasn't a game winner, but I know it was a big shot in the end.
Yeah. That's great, man. It's a great story.
So pretty much, even though we have 8 guys tonight, we should, we should stick close with them.
Still win it. You never know. We can still win it.
Yeah. It's true. Yeah. They should put your game on as inspiration. That game. Watch it in pregame.
Maybe not put that game on, but I know what you mean. Just take my word for it.
Yeah, we'll get to the games, but the spread of tonight's game is very close. For only having 8 guys active, it's very close, which is
that's weird,
really weird. And I don't think they have any injuries tonight. I think DeJounte Murray's game time decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big difference between what we're going through right now.
I know. So one of the other things that came out yesterday after the trade deadline had passed, and I love it. The trade deadlines passed. The fans are going nuts about trading Pat Bev. Everyone's pissed off. Then a storyline comes out about an hour later after the deadline's done that the Sixers plan on pursuing Paul George in the offseason if the Clippers cannot come to an extension with Paul George. So obviously there's two schools of thought here. You could say Sixers release that information to give the fans some hope that there is a plan in play, or this could be coming from Paul George's side where there is leverage there if he can't get the deal done with the Clippers. So my question to you guys is this a leverage play, or do you think there's some legitimacy to the Sixers wanting to chase Paul George in the offseason?
I don't know why Paul George his people would put this out when he's playing for the richest ownership in sports. I don't get that. I mean, they're going into a new stadium and all of that. Like, I don't get why he would put all that out. Like, I just don't understand why you would go that route.
What I read was Kawhi took a little less than max. They want George to do the same thing, and he's a little hesitant too.
A little hesitant to take $40 million.
Yeah, less than the full max that he can get.
Okay, but we can't pay him that. We can't pay him what the Clippers can.
I guess it depends on what their offer is.
No, I'm just saying if we can't pay him that full max, that like no one else can pay him what the Clippers can pay him. So
no, not that they pay him the full.
Else, you are taking. No, I'm just saying. So if you are going somewhere else, you are taking less. So now you want to take less and move?
Let's see, Kawhi Leonard.
That's what I'm like. That's what I'm asking.
So they paid him $52 and $50. I mean,
come on, man.
I don't know. How's he gonna get? Yeah, I mean,
come on.
I guess we. Yeah.
So he doesn't want to take 44 and 46. Like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't believe his people would put that out. I can't believe they would do that. Paul George don't need any leverage right now. He has enough leverage to get 45 million plus, 40 million a year. He already have leverage for at least 40 a year. I don't get that, but I do understand why the Sixers would do it. Put it out.
Yeah.
And
I'm trying to see what
can't come out and say it because they can't really talk about any other player from another team. But it's a reason why it came out. But it came out, the Clippers didn't make any moves, but they talking about what Paul George is going to do. Like, it just don't make sense.
Yeah. So we can offer him a contract because he's a 10-year vet starting at 49. Unless he's
market then.
Yeah. Unless he gets all NBA, which I don't think he will, then he can ask for more, like a bump from that. But I think just 10 years starts at 49. Yeah. And they gave Kawhi 52. So, I mean, I don't see how we can entice him to do that, especially a guy who's from Palmdale, already playing in LA.
That's what I'm saying. You're going to leave home because somebody offered him a couple mil, offered him 44 instead of 47. You're going to leave home like you're going to pay for that, the difference, which you're traveling back and forth and moving and getting you already settled. You buying another home, that money you're gonna have to pay out more, one way or another.
Taxes might be a little better though.
Yeah, I was going to ask, what's the difference between Pennsylvania and California state income tax?
Yeah, I mean it is a difference in taxes, but he already
Pennsylvania 3%.
No, it's a difference.
Does that? I'm asking. Does that play into rethinking where you sign, Eric? I mean, how much of a role does that play?
It did when we played, but some of these guys making so much money, that's not a deterrent for them.
1 to 13%. I'm going to
where
say
they want to be
13%.
Yeah, I would say that they about being where they want to be is really important because the money that they make now, they can live wherever they want to live.
Yeah.
He can live in California and he don't have to play in California. But if you don't have to live anywhere else, that's an extra expense that you don't need, you don't have.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, he's not going to live in Philly all year round.
No.
He's not going to do it. But he'll live in California all year round.
Yep.
So that's an extra expense.
So you'll have to own 2 places, rent or buy.
Yeah. Yes. And that's extra expense. And then traveling back and forth, what are your family going to do? Are they going to move with you? Are they going to stay where they're at? Do you have children? Are they going to go to school? Like, it does weigh into when you start thinking about that. That's why when you'll see a guy be like, yeah, I'm going to do it. And all of a sudden they kind of backtrack because when you start thinking about everything that goes with it, things can change.
Yeah. That's a lot of planning to do, especially across the country. And then it's weird. I guess it's Paul George rumor season because there was another report that came out last night that said he's been quiet whispers of him pondering going back to Indiana in the offseason.
Huh.
So I guess it's everyone's time to start leaking out Paul George stuff.
Yeah.
Who knows, though? Maybe we don't know what kind of pay cut they're asking him to take.
We don't know. Well, we don't know.
Because he's older than Kawhi by a couple years, right?
I'm not sure. He probably is. I don't know.
I think he might be, but it's very like with 1 or 2 years, not a big difference.
He's older. I mean, because he came in, but
Kawhi's
before.
32.
He might be like 34, 35 then.
Paul George 33.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they're close.
Yeah. That would be weird. But I think it also matters.
I mean, I think people can use the leverage play when it comes down to it. It could be, and if I can see it, I can see him moving more than I can see him putting out these rumors, is what I'm saying. His agent could be doing it, or somebody else's agent could be doing it. But I do think that maybe go and play with Joel and Maxey is encouraging. But you have to also be wary of that because what's the one knock that playing with Kawhi has always been? That he misses games.
Yeah.
So then you would go and move to Philly and play with the guy that what?
Misses games.
His biggest knock. He misses games. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
There'll be a lot of people using Philly as leverage. He won't be the only
one.
one.
Yeah.
His name won't be the You're gonna hear a lot of people with Philly because Philly has the cap space.
Yep.
And they're a good team, right? So you're not gonna. It's not like Detroit saying, we'll sign him."
It's gonna be some more places. I mean, more people rather. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Windhorse has said on multiple occasions that we're gonna be an attractive place for a lot of free agent destinations this offseason. That people want to play with Maxey and Embiid, but also we have the cap space, so the leverage play will be there.
Yeah, I mean, that's always interesting to me that people say that because the people that we always want, not really, the players that people want the Sixers to go get usually have options with the team that they play for that can pay them more.
Mm-hmm.
So I find it interesting when we just almost assume, since you got the space and we got the team, that people are just going, the top players are just going to come.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, and also another rumor that came out, not a rumor, but betting odds. The Sixers are the second highest team to land Klay Thompson in the offseason.
So we're going to get Klay and Paul?
Do we have a cap space for it? I don't know. Do we?
Now we're paying George $50 million. We don't.
Yeah,
we don't.
That's gonna get sucked up real fast. That's gone.
We don't.
And we're gonna be sky high over both aprons. We're gonna be over everything when we do that. We're going to try to re-sign as many guys as we can. Keep Buddy, re-sign Paul George, or sign Paul George, upping Maxey, re-sign Melton. Forget about it. We're going to be, boy.
I will say Embiid
Good luck
dishing
with that.
out to Buddy Hield and Paul George. I mean, that's what you want. Those type of pieces you want around Embiid.
Sure.
Sound good.
Yeah. Sounds great.
Sounds good. The idea sounds good. I don't know if the reality will ever hit.
And who knows? I mean, if Clippers are like, we don't know how their season's going to end. We don't know what manner it happens. You know, Paul George could be getting like no shots in that fourth quarter of an elimination game, and he's disgruntled. Who knows? And, you know, let's say Sixers are like, look, we don't want you to go empty-handed. We'll do a sign and trade. Sign and trade for George, and we'll sign and trade Tobias Harris.
Yeah.
Well, we got time for all that to play out.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And I'm sure we'll hear more rumors coming out between now and then. So we're going to get to our game picks. So tonight, we've talked about it. We got 8 guys playing tonight for us. We've lost 7 out of our last 8, and we'll be facing the Atlanta Hawks, who I think the only person they really have in their injury report is DeJounte Murray, who's a game-time decision. But other than that, they're pretty full health. So
Capella's been out for a while, right?
Yeah, he's been out. Yes. Yeah. But who do you guys have to? The spread right now has fluctuated a little bit, but I believe right at last I saw was 3.5 points. Man. It was also 2.5 earlier, but now it's back to 3.5. But who do you guys have in this one tonight? Can we make the bleeding stop with the 8 guys that we have tonight?
I'll say we win. Because of the 8 guys, and everybody know they're gonna play. Sort of take upon when I played with the Cavs. We had our 8 guys. I say we win the game.
I like it. I think we win. The spread is weird as hell, so I think they want you to take. I mean, if you're a casual bettor, you look at the line. Atlanta's playing okay lately. We have guys that weren't even on our team a couple days ago. Patched up roster. It's like it's a dream bet for the Hawks if you think about it. So Vegas doesn't do you favors. So yeah, I think guys will play free too. They'll play freely. You're gonna have guys' best shot out there.
And I remember when we played
Damon Jones' performance.
We played the Hawks the end of last year. You guys remember we sat all of our 5 starters? I think it was the second to last game of the season, and we won that game 136 to 131 in the overtime. McDaniels, I'm looking at it now. McDaniels played 44 minutes. He had 24 points. Niang, 31 minutes, 24 points. Yeah, so we had a lot of our reserves playing that game, and they had their entire starting lineup when we played them last year. So
crazy.
Yeah.
Kicking that Eric Snow magic tonight, maybe.
Yep.
All
right, guys. Well, we'll see you guys Tuesday, and
right,
hopefully we'll break this losing streak.
Yep. Later, guys.
Have a good weekend.
All right. Take it easy.